Are you a millennial in the Australian alternative scene? You may be eligible for compensation for the effects that the distillers had on your taste on music and women. And if that sounds like something that interests you, boy have I got the band for you today with the Pernicious, one of Melbourne's newest punk bands, and their self-titled debut album coming out this Friday, and I have been loving it. Now, full disclosure, I cannot provide an unbiased review on this album. I feel like I am an uncle to this album. Founding member and drummer Adam Chapman has been sending me demos as far back as 2020 for this band, asking for how I feel about it. So while I've not had any direct involvement in the creation of it, I've certainly had at least a degree of influence on it. But I guess that then puts a lot of pressure on me as a reviewer, because if I've influenced how this album got shaped, and I come out here and say that it wasn't a good album, then that means that my opinions were wrong and that they sucked. So I couldn't possibly do that, because then why would you watch me as a reviewer if my opinions were wrong and sucked? Oh god, I'm spiraling. Luckily, nothing I even need to consider, because the album's awesome. Now, you're probably wondering, Adam Chapman, where's that name familiar from? I've heard that before. I'm in the Melbourne alternative scene, punk, metal, whatever. I feel I know that name, and you probably do. He is the drummer and founding member of Hybrid Nightmares, also my favourite band. And alongside him are Hybrid Nightmares guitarists Lily and Bentley, and just to freshen the lineup a bit, we've also got Miles, who's not in Hybrid Nightmares, joining on bass, filling out this really good new four-piece. How does a black metal band that switches into pop-punk sound? Well, let's get into it. Straight off, it's got this cute little startup sound at the start, like a console turning on and loading up. I thought that was just cute. But it doesn't dwell on it, waste no time getting into the opening track, Following the Sun, and I love Following the Sun because I love following the melody. And straight up, one of the things that first hooked me in these songs when I heard them, especially with Lily's vocals. Like I said, I've had demos going back to 2020. It's just mostly Adam singing over them. There's a reason he's behind the drum kit. He's okay. But Lily is amazing. And what I really love is her ability to follow the melody of the guitars. It's such a flex of range, especially her ability to shift within that range. Of there'll be parts where the guitars kind of bounce and be like da 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 da, and she still manages to follow that with the vocal melody. It's so fun, and it's one of the first hooks to really grab me and be like, oh, sweet, this is awesome. And she just continues to kill it on the entire album. Obviously, the Distillers comparison is going to be the strongest one to make here. She's got that little bit of vocal fry that she's able to put on her voice when she's kind of up the upper end of her register, and then she's able to push that further into a full-blown scream when needed. But it's still a really well-held scream. It doesn't sound like she's kind of extending her limits. Her limit extends into clean vocal to scream seamlessly and effortlessly. And as I've already said, within that, there's just so much climbing up and down throughout this album to really show that ability off. Pair that with a lot of really well-held notes. There's never really a flat bar anywhere in here. It's such a strong performance. And on top of that, she's playing the guitar at the same time. As a four-piece, it's guitarist, vocalist and guitarist, bassist, drummer. So that's how they're able to get the full sound, and yeah, they're just lucky to have such a talented front woman who can sing that well and play guitar at the same time. Reminds me a lot of the first time Clowns released a song that had Hanny, their bassist, on vocals. She has a similar vocal style, and I'm like, oh man, I'd love to hear a lot more of that. I'd be happy if Clowns did entire songs where only Hanny did vocals. It created, in that moment, a gap in my listening experience that I've been looking to fill, and the Pernicious are filling that really well for me. There is really just something about that kind of like strained female vocal with the fry on it. Pairs so well with, fast-paced punk riffs. I think it's just that drive of aggression and anger, and would you believe women have a lot to be angry about? But that's the quality of the vocals. What about the content of the vocals, the lyrics? Also pretty darn good. It's the thing I've managed to crack the least, There's a lot of cool little sound bites in there. There's like easy to learn choruses that I picked up and can't wait to, belt out at a live show. But for the most part, there's a lot of metaphor and simile across these lyrics that they're thinking lyrics. I haven't managed to crack it, not because they're, riddles or they're obfuscated or that they're hard to understand. They're easy to, make out in the songs. I need time to sit with them and think about them and consider what they're trying to say. It's well written with a lot of depth. I'm a big fan of that, but I can't comment on it too much because I just haven't had it long enough. And that's what's going to give me mileage out of this album. I'm going to be spinning it over and over again until I've got a really solid idea of what's trying to be said. So right now I'm enjoying it and I'm kind of learning it, but yeah, I just need more time to really gnaw on it. Now, moving past the vocals and the Distillers comparisons, because I was never actually a big fan of the Distillers. So I'm looking for something else in this, and what I really found it in is the upbeat melodic instrumentals. It reminds me a lot of Graves era Misfits, and despite what Michael's doing nowadays, I love Graves era Misfits, and it's a sound that is so rarely replicated well. And I don't think the Pernicious are copying it verbatim, but on tracks like Brimstone and Presence of the Beast, it's got that melodic riff that rises and falls in a way that you want to follow it with your own voice and are like, whoa, whoa. I'm tone deaf, that probably sounded terrible, I'm so sorry. But I hope it drives the point. It's like very forefront, it's very easy to follow, and also just pleasant to follow. It's a nice riff to listen to, and a solid foundation for, the vocals on top. But putting all of that aside, where they really got me, hook, line, and sinker, is Black Widow. When I first got sent the demo for Black Widow, I went back to Adam. I said, Adam, I think you've sent me a Hybrid Nightmares demo. And he assured me he hasn't, because it opens with this absolutely amazing black and roll a la Satyricon riff. And I'm like, where did this come? This is what I expected when I was told black metal band does pop punk. But it's just the opening riff, and then it kicks straight back into that pop punk melody. It's got a lot of groove in it. It's like the grooviest song on the album. It's a, bounce your hips to riff straight after the black metal riff. But it seamlessly cuts across to it. It doesn't feel janky or awkward. And then at the very end, they bring back that opening riff as a breakdown, and again, it like effortlessly cuts between black metal riff, pop punk riff, black metal breakdown. It's such a ambitious song to write, and just a testament to the decades of experience in songwriting across the band to be able to pull it off like they have. And for me, it's just the best lead single. It's the most marketable single that I'm able to show people. And ever since it came out last week on Spotify, I have been showing people. I've been like, check out this, because it's exactly what you think you might get when I say black metal band does pop punk. So it's just such a nice in point. It's such a unique selling point. I love it. It's such a fun song. I also mentioned last week in my Psychroptic review about how good it is to break up a intense album with a song in the middle that takes its foot off the gas for a bit. And the Pernicious have done that well as well with Ghosts Haunt This Place. And it's really melancholic but sweet. It's got that sad sweetness to it. Once again, it's kind of carried by those beautiful vocal styles that stop it from being utterly miserable. What I like about the lyrical theming on this one is that it really shows off that ever-present tinge of horror punk influence. I've obviously mentioned the Misfits already, and there's a lot of that through there, even with the song titles, Hell on Earth, Brimstone, 666 Feet Deep. It's obviously an influence that it's wearing, but it never goes full horror punk, and I love that because as much as I love horror punk, big Misfits fan, big Wednesday 13 fan, horror punk's super corny, and you have to commit if you're going to go all the way with it. And there's too much other goodness on this album that would be ruined if you went super corny. Like I said, there's these like really deep, meaningful lyrics and stuff, and if I had to listen to them while the band's dressed up as skeletons, I don't think I could take it seriously. So they've done a great job at just balancing the little flavor of horror punk throughout the album without making a super campy release. And don't get me wrong, if it was a super campy horror punk album, I'd like that too. The world needs another Wednesday 13's Fang Bang, and Wednesday 13's not doing it, so someone has to do it. But I don't want the Pernicious doing it either, if this is what they're able to do instead. Building on that good album layout with a nice soft song in the middle to break up the intensity, I also like the spread of songs throughout the album. It's not front loaded with all the, really good fast hooky ones. You've got really strong songs in the latter half. Presence of the Beast, Black Widow, Walk the Knife. It really just maintains the quality the whole way through. And it ends well on The World Will End. And like I mentioned at the start, where it kicks off with that fun little intro that's super short, but is an intro. It's telling you the album has started. Ends on this nice little fade out. It's exactly all it needs to be. All right, we're not dealing with this high concept narrative epic of an album. It's a super tight, high energy 30-minute punk album. It needs something to bookmark it, and that only needs to be a short fade out at the end of the song. And I really enjoy that. I just really enjoyed, like I said, the bookmarking of it. A nice short snappy intro into the song, 30 minutes of awesome punk rock music, a nice short snappy outro. And 30 minutes is just the perfect length for a punk album, especially a debut punk album. It gets in, shows off what it can do, does it really well, doesn't stay longer than it needs to, doesn't draw out songs longer than they need to be. Everything has its place. I've bitched and moaned about long songs in the past that miss the mark by adding another chorus or another verse when it doesn't need to, and all that whining goes doubly so for punk rock. It's meant to be short, it's meant to be sharp, it's meant to be punchy, and when it's your debut album, you're not NoFX writing The Decline. You don't need to try and do anything like that. And if you are trying to write The Decline, stop, alright? The Decline sucked. I'll say it. Unpopular opinion with some. Very popular opinion. It's a polarizing song, but I'm on team The Decline sucked. But The Pernicious doesn't suck. I think this is gonna please a lot of people, from the obvious Distiller's Worship to Misfit-style melodies, pop-punk riffs, and then the wild-card black metal stylings of a Satyricon or a Carpathian Forest just thrown in there once. It's a love letter to the many forms of punk, and it wears its influences, obviously, without ever copying them verbatim. So enjoy it when it comes out this Friday, the 24th of July. And if you do enjoy it when it comes out and you're in Melbourne, they've got an album launch coming up on August the 7th for the Catfish. And you know what the Catfish means. Sparrow's Philly cheesesteaks, baby, the in-house kitchen. The best cheesesteak in Melbourne. If you've never had a cheesesteak, you gotta come just to try that, alright? It is the most delicious pub grub you will ever eat. And that's how you get me to your gig, alright? You put out, an amazing punk rock album. Yeah, I might come to the album launch. 10 years of friendship. Yeah, okay, Adam, I guess I can come to your album launch. Booking it where I can get a Philly cheesesteak by Sparrows. I'm there. I've already bought my tickets. I got one for my wife. It's a date night. Let's do this! And I kid. Come to the album launch because the album's awesome. But if you are at the Catfish, I'd recommend Sparrows for dinner. So I hope to see you there. And until then, take care of yourself, listen to good music, and listen to the Pernicious. Peace out.